a humiliation task.
Okay.
So some are very easy to do, some are very not so easy to do.
Okay. What's the name of the show called again?
Kenny versus Spenny. It's about a 15-year-old TV show now.
Oh, it's 15 years old?
Now it is, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because they were syndicated. No, they were on the Canadian Comedy Central channel for years.
Wait, Canada has its own Comedy Central?
I think so, or CNBC. Sounds right. Canadian Broadcasting Network. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's different.
Well, fuck them. They're America's hat anyway.
But it's a good show?
Yeah, phenomenal. So the show. So one of the guys, it's kind of like Spy versus Spy with humans.
Okay.
And they just do, it's like Jackass style stunts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. It was on Comedy Central for a while. And,
I'd probably watch it over the presidential address as well. It wasn't that informative.
Really?
I mean, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
All right. You ready for intro?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do this.
You are all business.
Oh, no, I'm ready to go. I actually set everything up ahead of time for once, besides apparently the audio, so that's great.
I don't care, dude. It sounds great to me.
As long as you don't hear yourself.
No. I mean, I do on my end.
Well, and in your head, and like, it's part of being a conscious human being is having an internal monologue as well.
Oh, yeah. I like my
American positivity. American positivity.
Welcome to American Positivity Sunday night edition.
Sunday night edition. Back to the original date of the show.
It is December 6th.
We made it. It's 2015 is pretty much a wrap.
Almost a wrap.
Yeah.
How was your year? I mean, yeah, a lot of changes happened in your life.
Yeah. No, it's
one big one, really.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Of course, referring to your sex change.
Yeah, of course. I am now a man.
Right, and you've married a lovely woman.
Yeah. My family's proud.
And you have yet to tell her that you used to be a woman, which is the best part. So I hope she's not listening.
Oh, she's definitely listening. It's so weird to like talk to her about the show.
Well, yeah, what do you guys say? What do you guys talk about?
It's just like she's so nice and so her. Like she's not a degenerate. She's not she's not a shithead. She doesn't have terrible thoughts.
Yeah. So she's a great person, but a horrible for radio, is what you're telling me.
She'd be good for things that she's phenomenal in.
Oh, no, I was just making a bad joke. It's fine.
I was going to say,
I'm sure she'd be great at radio.
If you want to know about vagina.
I have a feeling that the topics that she would know about vaginas most are not the topics that I want to know about vaginas the most. Like how to get more of them and et cetera. I'm like a Pokemon guy when it comes to vagina, personally. Gotta catch them all.
I had to think, and I'm like,
I don't get it. Oh, yeah. Gotta catch them all. That makes sense.
I love it.
I get it. But yeah, so did you have you had a good year? I mean, we'll have a more comprehensive, we should do like a year in review. Where we go over like the coolest things that happened over the last year, and we'll do it on like, I don't know. Are any Sundays close to New Year's this year?
I'm going to open up a calendar and find out here. Let's see. You could always do it the day after Christmas.
The day after Christmas?
Oh, sorry. The weekend, the Sunday after Christmas.
Right. That would be the 27th. That's close enough.
Yeah.
What's going to happen in 4 days?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that, people watching like the greatest 50 Christmas movies ever in history every year that shows like 2 months prior to Christmas.
Yeah.
They'll get it.
Yeah, they'll get there.
They'll get there.
All right. Well,
what were you watching on Netflix?
What was I watching on?
When, obviously, because you got older.
Yeah.
A little heavier.
Dude, Tobias Funke is like my favorite character ever.
I've met someone who looks exactly like him.
You met someone who looks exactly like David Cross?
Yes, specifically Tobias.
Interesting.
He was at my wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the husband of a friend.
The husband of a friend?
Yeah.
What I don't know, dude. Okay, so I like Tobias Funke. I like David Cross. And
Mhm.
I like, what's the actor's name who plays, fuck.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, who plays the lawyer in Breaking Bad and now has his own spin-off show.
Oh, you're talking about Jason Statham.
Jason Statham, exactly. No, the
No,
lawyer in
it's
Breaking
Bob
Bad.
Odenkirk.
Bob, yes. So, and him and David Cross used to have a show on HBO a long time ago called like The Damn Show or something like that, right?
I thought it was Mr. Bob.
Or Mr. Bob. Yeah, it was Mr. Bob. And they're doing a new show on Netflix right now that I think is called, I don't remember what the new name of the new show is, but it's really bad. It's not what it used to be, and it's kind of sad because you see all these comedians and they're a lot older and they're just not.
Well, it instead of being more inventive or I don't know, trying something different from what they're doing, they're just doing what they think is funny,
Yeah.
and it's not funny anymore. It's like a little kid who was really cute at singing a certain song at 3 years old, and then they're trying to relive the magic at 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, 9-year-old.
Yeah. It's not going to make a difference.
Go back to the basement.
Speaking of shows on Netflix and watching stuff on the internet as opposed to watching it on cable. Did you read that article I sent you, or some of the articles? Super
No,
long.
I read actually both of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where cable or pretty much any internet provider wants to meter internet connections into people's homes and businesses.
Yeah, and they've actually had the policy in place for a little bit, like Comcast specifically. So we're talking about this article on, I don't even know.
Backchannel.com.
On Medium, Backchannel I think is the name, I don't even know. On Medium.com about Comcast is going to start enforcing its download limits. You know what I mean?
You know why that's a big deal, right?
Oh, of course, it's a big deal because it's against the whole idea of a free internet, and their limit is like 300 gigabytes, which seems like a lot right now for some people. But so let's just put the scenario of you have roommates, you both watch Netflix, you play some games, and now that digital distribution for video games is a thing. I'll use Fallout 4 as an example. I had to re-download that 3 times. That game was 23 gigabytes. That's 60 gigabytes
Jesus.
in 4 hours that I downloaded. You know what I mean? I'm not pirating anything.
No.
But they're going to start metering it so that once you hit that cap, they're going to charge you more money like you would on your cell phone.
Yeah, and their idea why it needs to be there, quotations, why.
Well, and they don't even like there was, as part of the article, they were like showing a script on what a Comcast rep is supposed to say to a customer. And they tell them not to tell the customer to prevent congestion, which you would think is the logical argument for that. But it's not. Because it doesn't matter. It turns out when you engineer a network for peak data usage, then if people aren't using that peak, then it doesn't matter at all. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
You're not doing anything. It's not helping you at all when people don't download stuff. I don't know. It's just a very strange thing. And right now, 300 gigabytes for an average consumer is okay, but like in 5 years, it's gonna be nothing.
That shit is not okay in many different levels. One, they're the biggest cable or internet provider in the country.
Yeah.
Which that right there is enough to theoretically shut people up, but it feels like no one's saying anything.
Yeah.
Besides like random internet articles that the fuckers that control laws don't read.
Yeah, and the problem is consumption-based billing makes a lot of sense for a lot of other industries like water and electricity and a lot of different services. Consumption-based billing totally makes sense. So then you have these the lobbyists for Comcast and all the internet providers, and they can convince these old people who don't know that this is the same way as it is for water and electricity.
and they don't understand that. I mean, once you put up a network, it essentially takes care of itself as long as you feed it electricity. That's it.
Yeah, and turns out it takes almost the same amount of electricity to run at no capacity as it does to run at maximum capacity. You know what I mean? That's the way that routing system works. It's not like there are computers that need to think about it harder, because it's all built into the hardware, and it uses literally almost the same amount of power regardless. There's no extra cost. Anyway, this whole article kind of pissed me off because it goes into it. And I don't know.
Well, it's fucked up on many different levels. I mean, I can eat 300 gigabytes, like if I was really sitting at my computer, in about 3 days, easy.
Yeah.
Between gaming, downloading video, or even just streaming YouTube. I mean, imagine if you have a 15-year-old or you don't have a TV.
Yeah.
The internet's pretty much your babysitter, your form of entertainment, and you watch 3 movies in one day. That's 10 gigabytes. But if you watch the videos on the internet, news throughout the day, I mean, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. If you left the internet on streaming video like you do your cable, then you would eat through that in like 10 days out of your 30.
Easy.
And especially, I would think that the manufacturers of 4K televisions would be the ones lobbying against these things and working with the internet service providers or with Congress or something.
Yeah, who knows? It all comes down to fucking money, and they're gonna get it because they're assholes, and fuck them. I'm not down with that bullshit.
Yeah, sorry, there's some video or something playing.
Go hunt it down. Send Benzo on it.
I heard something playing, but I don't hear it anymore.
It's a ringtone.
It's a ringtone. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so that was the first article I wanted to talk about.
No, it's another way for them to try to squeeze out more money, even though they return profits at an all-time high in the last every year. They've turned a profit. I don't think they've ever. And when I say profit, I mean like more than 25% profit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much more money the internet service providers are making for sure.
I don't know. Imagine like you're a Comcast, a customer service rep. It's got to be the shittiest fucking job in the world.
Yeah.
Every day you have to defend something that people continuously berate you about, yell at you, swear at you, call you pieces of shit. Let me talk to your manager. It's probably heard all day.
Yeah, and it's not even just for like the people who I don't know. I don't know. I just hate Comcast. I think honestly we need, and I'm going to be called a socialist for this, but we need internet provided by the state that's fiber for everywhere. Like it needs to be, or if it's not provided by the state, it's like a guarantee, just like electricity is, right?
Well, and that's what is happening now, where there's tons of co-op internet services throughout the entire country. Cities or counties, they essentially take local taxes, roll it into an infrastructure for themselves.
Yeah.
And it usually is cheaper than the biggest provider of internet.
Right, and then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, there is something scary about having the government in control of my internet when it comes to, like, the possibility of a China-like Great Firewall. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a lot easier for them to implement that if they were the ones providing you internet.
I already think Google's owned by the government. I'm convinced. Like Google was purchased maybe, I don't know, in my mind, like 2004, 2005. And once they started providing email, that right there is when the government started collecting everything.
But here's where we disagree, because I don't think the government needs to own Google because they just have access to all their data.
Same thing. I mean,
but they're not actively making policy decisions for Google. And the advantage of that. What's that?
That we know of.
That we know of. That's true. I don't think that they are.
I'm completely convinced.
Yeah. Well,
it's just a government front.
Do you think there's? Is this just an intuition, or do you have some like evidence to?
I don't have scientific evidence.
Yeah.
But my Second Amendment right tells me that there is.
Speaking of scientific evidence versus non-scientific evidence, I kind of wanted to play a little. Did you watch this video?
You're talking gibberish again.
Am I talking gibberish again? Did you watch that video
I
that I
did,
sent you?
yeah. I watched it right before.
There's a part. Okay, so just to set it up, I don't like to get. I'm not getting on my high horse. It's just I was having.
You are, dude.
A
This whole
bit.
thing is about riding high
true.
horses.
That's true. So I am not a super militant atheist. I've talked about being an atheist before, and every
Allahu
once
Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. And every once in a while, I'll come across somebody who can more eloquently like argue against theists. Not that I have a huge problem with it, but they're just really good at it because it's what they do. So one such gentleman's name is Sam Harris, which Sam Harris is actually a little bit controversial because he, at the moment, prioritizes Islam as being the most dangerous religion on the planet at the moment.
I wonder, they didn't ask, I wanted the person to ask him, like, define dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, I really...
Because he didn't. He didn't talk. No, it's okay. He didn't talk about really Islam in the clip I'm giving. It was just for belief in God. But his argument, and he's made. I see both sides to it. So anyway, he has made a good argument that like if he was in the 1930s, his religion that he would be going after would have been the Catholic Church because it was anti-Semitic, and there, like the whole Hitler connection there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nowadays he's saying it's Islam because there's people actively dying in the name of Islam. There are people actively dying in the name of other religions too, but you could argue that Muslim ideals are kind of spur you towards that more. But I'm not going to make that argument right now because I don't really care either way. But let's listen to... So Sam Harris is talking to... Azra... Fuck, I forget his name. And they don't say on the video. But he's a pretty famous... theist. All right, but we're going to listen to some of this.
Creator of the universe, whose presence a human being can live, and according to
Oh, hold on. I think it's playing twice.
dictates sustainable
I'm so good at this.
I love it, man. No, keep it going.
can live in this world.
But what is your evidence for the existence of God right now?
I don't have evidence because it's not a scientific claim.
Okay, but I can say
want
the
to
same thing.
Unless you want to say, I shouldn't say it that way. I don't have proof because it's not a scientific claim. If you want a supporting idea, I would say my understanding of other human beings and my experience of other human beings, which leads me to believe that there's something more than material. My understanding of the design of the world, which leads me to believe that we're here not by accident. My appreciation of the fact that human beings, even though we are made of stuff, have consciousness, which leads philosophers like Galen Strawson to assume that even rudimentary material has consciousness because he can't explain how consciousness arises.
Right.
My experience of religious human beings and the way they live and the fact that they live in harmony, to my perception, with an invisible order that gives them a life of a certain sanctity and holiness.
This is a general claim.
You're
Religious
asking-
human beings generally live in harmony with...
No, I said my experience of certain human beings. I mean, I can keep going if
I'm
you want
right
me to
because
keep
I
going.
yelled
No,
over
I think
you.
you
Yeah,
put enough
exactly.
on the table.
Okay, but none of those are scientific evidence.
Many of those claims trespass upon the territory of science overtly. I mean, the claim about your understanding other human beings being suggestive of a divine artificer.
Is that a scientific claim?
Absolutely. I mean,
Extraordinary.
is your understanding
The funny
of
part comes up in a
mathematics
bit.
also
Oh, I know.
suggestive
Yeah.
of a divine artificer?
You need the
No, it has
backup.
to do with
Yeah,
my
you need the
experience.
Your ability to learn language?
Do you understand? It has to do with my experience of you. When I'm looking at you right now,
Right.
you may assume that what I see is a material, but that's not what I see. And it's not what I believe. And I think that
I
there's
understand
something-
it's not what you
there's
believe, but
something in you that is
hot.
more than you believe. I really think
Super
so.
hot.
This is
Now,
a...
if you want to make that a scientific claim, you can. But I'm telling you, it's a metaphysical claim, and to confuse the two is a mistake.
Okay, you can add any metaphysics you want.
Thank you.
By that means. I mean, I can say, I see you as a reincarnate personality, and I think you were probably
I was
living
someone famous.
on Atlantis. Yes.
Don't make me like a washerwoman in a previous
People do this all the time. I mean, you can broadcast. I mean, this is constrained by our common sense in every other domain of discourse. I mean, just take, for example, the people who think Elvis is still alive. Okay. What's wrong with this claim? I mean, why is this
Is he?
claim not vitiating our academic departments and corporations. I mean, I'll tell you why, and it's very simple. We have not passed laws against believing Elvis is still alive. It just is, the problem is that whenever somebody seriously represents his belief that Elvis is still alive, in a conversation, on a first date, at a lecture, at a job interview, he immediately pays a price. He pays a price in ill-concealed laughter.
Yeah. Right. Now, surely you can agree with that.
That is a good thing. Now, then he could rattle on about this is not a scientific claim. This is a matter of faith. You know, when I look at you, I see you might be Elvis. I mean, he could do this.
When I look at you, I see that you might be Elvis. Just that last part made me so happy.
No, it's a great debate, but the problem is it's like seeing a boy fight a girl.
Okay.
Like at 5 years old.
Okay.
For the most part, the boy is going to beat up on the girl.
Okay.
And this argument of, you know, religious person debater versus theist debater, it's going to go on forever. It's never going to end. And
you don't think it'll ever end? Oh,
no, because people will continue to teach their children about their bullshit, and then, I mean, it'll just continue. It's never going to end.
I have a theoretical question for you then.
Yeah.
If you were able to wipe everyone's mind of any religious ideas that they may have had, and like started a new society, like a bunch of brand new kids, and they're all raised by like scientists or whatever, and no one ever told them anything about religion, do you think that they would come to religion on their own?
I don't think they'll come to an organized religion, but I think that, well, I know because there was a scientific study done on this piece where there's a guy who took 2 children, which is of his own, moved them to an island, him, his wife, and the 2 kids, and raised them isolated on this island. Okay. Just to see if the children would seek out some form of higher power,
right?
Or, you know, converse with themselves about something supernatural, or otherwise. Yeah. The thing that he saw them doing is they were worshiping the sun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they understood that the sun provides life. If you wipe everyone's mind from organized religion, people will still seek out something bigger than themselves.
I don't think that's necessarily a problem either.
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. What goes on is when people are killing or hurting other people because
in the name of some god,
their feeling or what they feel that they know.
Yeah, I actually have no problem with someone believing that there is a divine entity that created the universe, or just that there's some supernatural things happening. Where I take biggest issue is when they say, and it's this specific text that this dude wrote 2,000 years ago that lays out exactly that dude and exactly what he wants us to say or do.
But I found a photo of Jesus in a messy diaper at a Disney World bathroom. What? Now I got to keep that toilet that diaper.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying like inside the messy diaper, the shit looked like Jesus's face.
Yeah,
I get you. Yeah,
I leave people alone about it. I'm just like, this is what yours is. You know, if you're listening to this and now you are offended, you have the choice to leave and ignore it. Yeah, we're not going to be in your ear telling you how to feel or not.
Yeah, I did.
Obviously, I mean, and I think that's where it needs to come, because especially right now, you know, people are obviously killing each other for ideals.
Yeah, I don't think there's any ideal that should lead you to murder besides, like, unless that other group is trying to harm you and your group.
And you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that gets very subjective and weird.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that obviously that can make a turn. I just think it's dangerous for people to believe in things without evidence. They can have an intuition on it. Like I said, I don't think there's a problem with people thinking that there is a God, again, but there's no evidence to say that God is any one specific thing.
I just don't want anyone to get hurt. I mean, because kids see that, they grow up with it, they seek it out because they see that they want to appease whoever is leading them in life.
Yeah.
And it just continues. I mean, like if you take, for instance, where my nationality is, I'm Albanian, where my family's from Kosovo, which is it's an autonomous region within the former Yugoslavia, and they try to wipe us off the map because they feel that we stole their land 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Or you take the Holocaust, the one that everyone knows about with Germany and the Jews. I mean, it's just now there's Jews who hate Germans, and there's Germans who hate their past because they can't be proud of it.
Yeah.
Unless they're really into Fanta, which do you know about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But talk about it.
Yeah, I don't. Did we talk about it?
No, you talk about it now.
Oh, Fanta. How did it go? I was watching a video with my wife, and how did it become? It was created by like an engineer of the Nazi Party serving the Nazi Party at that time.
Yeah.
And it became like the super popular drink.
Fanta's good, man.
It's pop.
Yeah, Fanta and Coke. Fanta, if I'm remembering correctly, that's the orange one, right? It's like a citrusy.
Well, it originally started as orange.
Right.
And now they offer a variety of fruitful flavors.
Oh, yes, okay. So when I lived in Germany, a big drink was Fanta and Coke together.
Really?
Like, yeah, you put Fanta and like Coke, like regular like Diet Coke or whatever. And I don't remember what they called it, but it's actually pretty good if you mix the two together. Do you ever do the tornado when you're a kid and you just like go put some soda in from every...
Oh, yeah. I still do that randomly as an adult.
I'd like to mix Sprite and like lemonade. It's a good...
Never did that before.
Yeah, no, you should do it. It's great. But
do you do that at Firehouse?
Oh, Firehouse all the time. Actually, no, Firehouse has one of those soda machines where the touchscreen and you get to select your choice, so you don't have to do that.
I hate that fucking machine.
You don't like that machine?
I hate that machine so much.
Do you hate America?
Yeah, I hate that soda machine.
You hate America is what I'm hearing.
It eats up all my space, all my time. Like
what? I mean, it's not that complicated. I don't understand.
So there's one place where I typically use that at,
it's like
and that's
noodles?
at Qdoba in Northfield.
Okay.
And Northfield caters to a community that just houses a bunch of degenerate teenagers. Now I feel like a fucking old man.
Yeah, you're an old man. Yep.
Yeah.
Those degenerates in Qdoba. Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. But they're just obnoxious. There's it's always a group of guys, and I used to be one of them.
Yeah.
And you're just happy that there are no parents around, and you're 16, and
yeah,
your wiener's knocking on your pants.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, and they're just always in my fucking way. Move.
So you don't like the soda machine because of the 17 and 16-year-old kids who take forever to choose what they want.
Exactly.
Because they don't know what they like because they're so young and the world is so new to them. And you really hate that they have their whole life to look forward to. That's the deep down hatred that you have.
I'm also just like, I hate people in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't like anything around me. Like, just fucking move.
But so taking aside the aspect of it increasing the amount of time it takes people to get drinks, do you appreciate the soda that you can get out of it at least?
No, because I'm creeped out that the nozzle, which gets gunked up with syrup, and I don't even know why I'm complaining because it happens on the normal.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But continue.
But then I have to let it run for a couple seconds because I don't want to taste like ginger ale before or whatever it was in my Coke.
Hippie Mafia says that you should add vodka to it.
That would be good. Awesome.
That would actually be really cool if you had like a mixed drink dispenser like those Coke machines that you could go up and say like, I want a Manhattan, and it just does it.
No, there's a whole entire city that does that. It's Las Vegas.
Oh, Vegas does that now?
Fuck it. They've always done that. Like if you go to downtown Vegas, which is my favorite part about Las Vegas, old Vegas. There's essentially a strip of just like a shitload of bars that they serve all kinds of mixed drinks. I mean, you don't get to choose the tons of variety.
Yeah.
But the majority of them.
So it's all done in one machine, and it just kind of squirts it out, and then
there's like a rum and Coke machine. There's like a vodka soda machine, and then they add like the fruitful flavors if you want.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's all garbage. I mean, it's like it's like I mean, you're drinking like Seagram's vodka.
Yeah, no. I remember the last time I was at Vegas, I was sitting down playing like nickel slots at the end of my day because I was at some festival. And I was just playing nickel slots so I could get free margaritas. And after about the fourth one, I said, this margarita tastes like shit.
Yeah,
Why am I still doing this?
Well, see, it's the opposite for me. When I'm in Vegas and I'm drinking, the first one is always the worst drink.
Yeah, then it gets better after that.
And
sure.
then
yeah.
two drinks after, it's like this is God's gift to me. It's this saddened like 80s, not 80, like this 47-year-old like cocktail waitress with her udders hanging out of her top. And
dude, so let me tell you about an experience I had at Vegas real quick before we move on to the next
Please,
topic.
I don't care.
So I was like 22.
True.
Or maybe even just 21, and one of my dad's friend Larry Hulst, he's a pretty famous rock photographer. He shot like Hendrix and Rolling Stones and shit. We drove to Vegas. We didn't have tickets to Vegas, which is a 3-day festival there. We saw like Beck and the Flaming Lips, etc.
Man, that must have been a good time.
Oh, it was great. But we went there with like no money, and we just sold prints out of the back of his car, like prints that he had made in his basement. Anyway, the point is we sold those to get money to go in. Well, he gave me like 30 prints and said like, here, sell these. These are extra money for you to do whatever you want. I was like, hey, thanks, Larry. And then so there was this one lady going around selling cookies. And they were like special cookies, right? So I was like, okay, special cookies. I've never gotten high in my life at this point, besides one time at a Coldplay concert. Basically, the dude in front of me kept blowing in my face, so me and my buddy got super contact high.
That's like the most like gentrified subject.
It is. Yeah. I was at a Coldplay concert. That was my first. Anyway, so I was like,
I was at a Coldplay concert
from a contact high,
and I got a contact.
Anyway, it was totally true. Anyway, the point, because I was in the military and I couldn't do anything. I just gotten out of the military. Anyway, the point is, I sold her. I traded a picture for one of her hash oil cookies. Right. So this is like some hash oil is like some super highly concentrated shit. So I saved it. And I was like, okay, I think I've told. So I saved it. I was like, okay, I'll eat this later. So now, after the concert, I was walking down to the strip, and I decided to eat half of the cookie and see what happens. Mm-hmm. I waited like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. I said, fuck it. And I just ate the rest because I have no idea what's even happening as far as edibles. Like, they take a lot longer than that to kick in typically. And I remember the moment it kicked in because I was walking by the Golden Nugget and the old...
I love it. It's my favorite hotel and casino.
Yeah, on the old strip that you were talking about. And I tripped over the curb, and it felt like I floated above the earth. I left my body. I was like having an out-of-body experience floating above myself. And I said, oh my God, what is happening? This is amazing. Also, I need to go play some poker right now. So I immediately played some Texas Hold'em with some old people, and I played the best Texas Hold'em I've ever played in my life because I gave no fucks about if I won or lost a hand, and I was betting like crazy, and they just weren't having it, so they'd fold every time. Anyway, so that was fun. But to go back, one other thing I want to talk about, if people watched it tonight, was the presidential address where he talked briefly about the shooting in, was it San Diego?
Yes, San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And then somehow wrapped that into terrorism. Well, he said it was terrorism. I guess you could technically call it that, but he somehow wrapped that back into ISIS, even though they're not directly affiliated with each other. Like they have nothing.
ISIS has claimed that either the wife of the gentleman, or not gentleman, that fucking asshole that went into the place and started shooting people, or him, they were seeking them out on social media.
Seems like a long stretch to me.
Yeah,
I think he's just an asshole and a crazy person. But yeah, so he talked about that, and he talked about terrorism and what we should do, and he definitely went out of his way to say like, hey, we're not going after Islam, and ISIS doesn't speak for Islam.
Which is a good thing. I think he needs to say that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and to let people know that yes, you can't. This is not a war on a particular group of people.
Right.
In terms of the group of people that promote the same ideals of being decent human beings.
Yeah.
They're going after an extremist group.
Yeah, small
obviously
segment of it.
They want to do this. This is the point. It's like the weirdest trolling I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy how many shootings we're having. You know what I mean? It's
it
like
breaks my heart
every
man.
fucking week, man.
Because like those are people like imagine you're going, you really want to fucking get a Big Mac at McDonald's, right? You go in,
yeah, I'm digging this.
you order a Big Mac, you literally are going to the, to fill up your soda in that shitty fucking machine.
Yeah.
And someone just pulls out a fucking machine gun and goes nuts.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. It could happen literally anywhere.
What I don't understand is, I just don't get the frequency of mass shootings, and the complete. And this is going to be the lefty coming out of me here for a second, so I apologize.
Liberals.
And like the lack of conservative and right wing people to want to enact harsher gun laws, and gun regulation.
I honestly don't understand the passion behind the unrealistic, not even listening or hearing people out. Like, why does everyone should need the right to a gun?
Yeah, there's other states that do it, where you have to go to, like, I think Germany does it this way. You have to go to the police, get an interview done and a psych evaluation done, and have a reason to have a gun. And if you meet all those things, you get a gun. Like, there's no ban on guns. There's just a lot harsher thing that you have to go through. And
It's
I understand,
no different
like,
than prescription pills. I mean, it's...
well, and like, here's the deal. Like, the Second Amendment, if we're going to get real, was to ensure that states could still have their own militias in case they wanted to overthrow or change the government in some way, right? Now, do you really think that private people owning guns are going to stand up against fucking drones? Like, what the fuck do people think they're going to do with an M16 at home against the government right now? Like, it's just
polish it,
yeah,
stroke
it's
it.
just
I mean, that's all you fucking do.
totally unrealistic. If the government, if we wanted to start a revolution and the government wanted to stop it, they could just nuke the fuck out of our own cities. Like, it wouldn't, like, it doesn't even matter. So I don't get the argument of like, oh, I have a gun because what if we need to rise up against the government? Well, like, if you need to rise up against the government, then you're fucked and you should probably move. Like, I know that sounds shitty, but you're not gonna accomplish anything.
I collect all the guns you want. I want a way for people who, and I'm not even saying reevaluate what's done in the past, because what's the past is the past.
Yeah.
The current situation with guns is the way it is.
Yeah.
But for people who want to purchase a new one tomorrow, some form of, I mean, there's still ways around psychiatric evaluations.
Sure. Yeah.
But for the most part, because everyone would agree, we don't want people who aren't
Mentally
who
sound.
are planning to do something negative with the guns.
Yeah.
We all don't want them to have the weapon.
Right.
And I don't want to take away the right for you to have the weapon that you're carrying if it's legal in your region.
Yeah.
My concern is starting tomorrow, because the world doesn't end tonight when you go to bed.
Yeah.
There's going to be a planet here for the next 1,000 years.
At least 3 billion until it gets engulfed with the red dwarf that our sun becomes.
Now you're way too left.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
I know.
fucking ridiculous.
No, but here's the deal. I think we could easily accomplish it by having really strict policies on how to get guns, not banning them completely, and then doing a buyback program like they did in Australia. It was super successful. Crikey. So they said, like, hey, we'll give you $5,000 for every gun you bring in. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, shit. Now every gun everywhere is worth $5,000 to the government. You know what I mean? So, like, so many people would give up guns that would otherwise would have used those guns to steal things that were worth less than $5,000. You know what I mean?
It sounds crazy, because I was just thinking while you were talking, like, if that actually happened, how much theft would go on?
Like guns?
Pawn shops getting broken into.
Oh, and then the guns stolen?
Yeah, the guns stolen. And they would raise the price of all the guns currently on the antique market, for example, that are only worth $2,000.
Sure. Yeah. You could
You
put
would
some,
actually help the economy.
Yeah, you could put some limitations on it if you didn't want to do that, saying like, hey, they need to be guns manufactured in the last 20 years that like have some sort of semi-automatic. Like, if it's not a semi-automatic, if you have to like load it with a stick, you know what I mean? No.
So you're saying not a musket?
No muskets. Yeah.
So you're saying I can't bring in a pipe pistol that I found somewhere in the wasteland and cash that in?
No PVC pipe potato bombs. None of that. None of that.
Yeah, and then imagine that debate. Like, what's defined as a gun?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be. I mean, you could literally have a blue book and say like, "Hey, here's the guns we're looking for." But you could even target like you don't have to do a flat rate for everything. Like pistols, 9mm are worth less than an AK-47. AK-47 will give you 20 grand. Like, I mean, I'm throwing out numbers, but like they did a successful buyback campaign in Australia. It can work. Australia was founded by a bunch of British outlaws. So if you have like outlaws willing to give up their guns, then I think the American public will do it too on their own. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I mean, I'm not really into guns. I've had them like shot at and in front of me. It's not something I ever want to personally deal with, but for people who want them and you're fucking sane, I want it harder for you to get them.
Sure, yeah. Hippie Mafia made a point in YouTube that they're not a gun nut, but they do own a gun, and that most mass shootings happen in gun-free zones, and that's true. And when I say that, I think we should stop people from getting dangerous like assault rifles or people who shouldn't have guns to get guns. I'm not saying it will stop all gun violence.
No,
I'm just saying that statistically, math says that if there are less guns out there, that there's going to be less gun violence. Like that's just a mathematical constant that you can't get around. I'm not saying it's the only thing we should do, because I think there's a lot of other things that could help, but that is one of the easiest things to do that we refuse to do. And I don't want people who want to have guns and are mentally sound and can pass a background criminal check or whatever to get guns. I'm just saying we need to make it harder.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a solution that gets resolved in 5 minutes, 5 years, not even 100 years. But something, if we didn't have any fucking environmental protection laws in this country, we would, since we're already the promoter or the major polluter in the world, I think, well, we're behind China, right?
Yeah.
Well, in terms of pollution.
But
I mean, imagine there was zero restrictions.
Yeah.
We would have a third eye on our back, or we're going to be dead sooner than later.
Well, yeah, and I think that we could solve this problem in about 20 years.
I think it would take 100.
You think it would take 100 years?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that societal change looks more like a technological progress than it does like a straight growth curve. You know what I mean? Like it more rapidly changes.
Well, maybe you're right, because I up until last night I was a firm believer that it takes 2 generations to make an actual change, like a substantial change. But last night I decided to watch Eddie Murphy's Delirious again. I didn't watch it since I was a kid. Have you seen that?
Delirious. This is it wasn't Raw that I was talking about the other night.
Yeah.
It was this one.
It's Delirious.
It's the one where he starts talking and
you
immediately
started
starts talking about faggots, and I'm like, oh God, can't believe Eddie Murphy just said that.
The first 5 minutes, it's
oh my God, then he starts making jokes about HIV.
Like how well the first thing that came out is he was talking about gays, and then how gays were he was afraid to wear his outfit because he was wearing a tight leather red
jumpsuit, yeah.
And then he was just like, gays, keep your eyes off my ass. So it's like the most stereotypical homophobic thing.
Oh, dude. And this is what I talked about. He said he's homophobic. Remember I was telling you about this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 30 years later. Here we are. We're in the most PC. And there's nothing wrong with I'm going to sound such like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I'm ready.
There's nothing wrong with the world being PC. But there's so many different lines now with living in PC that's almost impossible not to offend people in daily conversation.
Yeah, I think that you just have to accept that you're going to offend someone and just choose the groups that you don't want to offend.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's happening. Like, I was reading earlier about slut shaming.
Slut shaming?
This is a fucking real thing. Shaming.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I didn't mean to laugh at that. Sorry.
Are labeled sluts or perceived as sluts are now saying you can't use that word because you're not mean, you can't judge. It's like they're putting being called a slut on the same level as other groups N-word that may seem above the tier of where slut is.
So the N-word
races. They're comparing the N-word to slut.
Now, I don't think that you should necessarily call someone a slut. But it's definitely not the same thing as calling them like a cunt, excuse my language, or the N-word.
Or it's just
You know what I
fucking
mean?
weird. Like, listen, just because the way I look doesn't make me a slut. Don't call me a slut.
No.
That's the bad
Right,
word.
right. And
It's
I think that looking at someone and calling them a slut is definitely a problem. But also,
Yeah.
you can't tell me I can't call someone a slut. Like, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Like,
I'm not gonna walk up to someone and like, hey, slut, give me a beer.
Yeah, no, that's not something you do.
No.
But like, it's very strange what's happening right now on the left. Isn't he the one that had a train? I think, no, Eddie Murphy wasn't the one who had a transvestite prostitute, was he?
Yeah, he was. It was him and Hugh Grant. Yeah.
Him and Hugh Grant together?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just ironic because of...
It's fun. Yeah, if you watch Delirious, like, let's say I've watched it at least 15 times in my life,
yeah.
but I haven't seen it since probably like 2002. I was like, holy shit, I forgot all about this.
But to go back to what I was saying real quick is that there's this weird thing happening on the left, and it feels weird saying that because I consider myself pretty liberal, where like they're wanting to squash freedom of speech to protect different groups of people. Like the South Park episode is a great example where the South Park principal is telling Jimmy, who's a handicapped person, that he can't say retarded when he is mentally has some issues. He can't say retarded. And I go like, I could see both sides, but like I think when there are both sides to an argument, we should probably defer to the Constitution on this one and go like, you can say what you want. You're an asshole still. I'm not saying that you're not an asshole for calling someone a slut. I'm not saying you're not an asshole for calling someone retarded or a racial slur, but it turns out you're still allowed to do that because this is America.
And we
are positive.
And if you don't like it, you can go move in the middle of the hills.
I just don't get it. I understand, like, I don't want to harm people, like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but at the same time, like, what I can and can't say is also really important to me. I should be able to say what I want. I should have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
But those consequences shouldn't include jail time unless I'm, like, making threats to someone that are viable.
This isn't the fucking Gestapo, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you communist.
What is this? What is this that you sent me?
I recently discovered, I was reading an article of a gentleman who, and this kind of has to deal with sluts and things. Not that our prostitutes are sluts, because this is go ahead and pause that right there.
Yeah.
So this guy in Oklahoma City has taken on the war of prostitution in his own hands. So he follows prostitutes guerrilla style.
Okay.
And tries to bust them and then get them and their Johns identified and then eventually prosecuted.
On johntv.com.
On johntv.com. So it's this guy literally in his car. I think someone's driving with him or driving for him.
Yeah.
Holding a camera, like following prostitutes throughout the entire Oklahoma City.
Okay. Should I just play now?
So not yet.
Okay.
So he finds this one slut that, sorry, not a slut.
Jesus. We just talked about this.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
I'm just joking.
That actually fucking slut. You follow this one prostitute who is nicknamed Tyson.
Okay.
After Mike Tyson, because she has tattoos on her face.
Okay.
And let me text you or Skype you the pictures of her John and her, because there's no fucking way I would ever, one, pay for all of that situation, but two, scroll down to the bottom and she is go ahead and click on that photo.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So
website shitty. Okay.
John from John TV, or the guy who created it, followed her. She got into a truck, a white truck. There's a 75-year-old man, and I'm assuming they've been prosecuted, so they have been, allegedly, I'll still say it, fuck it.
Yeah.
She performed sexual acts in public for money.
Okay.
So this guy, he finds that they're parked on private property. He parks like maybe 2 blocks away and flies a drone and interrupts their entire session. Go ahead and push play. It's the fucking best.
Okay.
It's the best. And the serious music.
John previously obtained. I missed it.
He obtained 2 proofs of permission.
Oh, from the person who owned the land or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the best part is like the drone is slowly.
This drone
going
right now,
down.
for the audio listeners, is slowly floating down towards the truck. It's like some kind of abandoned, like tire,
like
I
a
don't know, junkyard type situation. And this music is just so epic.
Oh, just keep listening. The music makes the whole thing. So the drone is maybe about 20 feet above the truck.
We're adjusting the camera so we can hopefully see inside of the car. Oh, we have some blurring. I'm assuming that's some penis happening.
That's someone's
What?
grandfather.
His pants are on. What exactly is going on if his pants are on?
I'm assuming that he whipped out his wiener.
Yeah, it's through the... I don't know. I just don't like to have sex with my pants on.
Listen, dude, obviously you've never had to have
Oh,
sex.
the prostitute just saw the drone, I think. Yep, the prostitute has seen the drone. The music has changed.
It's like getting the...
It's like the busted
level
music.
cleared in Mega Man.
Yes. He is driving off.
Gotta go.
Wow.
So that has been
This
the
video has
very
been made
first-
available to law enforcement for investigation and prosecution.
That has been the very first drone busted criminal act created by a private citizen.
Wow. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, according to the Ars Technica article,
Oh,
which
okay.
they're
So
pretty
that's
credible.
Yeah. So that's why this is a thing. So that was the
Yeah.
first example of someone going to jail for something that a private citizen's drone caught.
It's fucking funny. Like, I can't imagine, like, I'm going to get these prostitutes today. I got my drone ready. My batteries are charged.
I got my drone ready.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling, like, for people who are so extreme, whether it's for something or against something, but they involve all of their passion and resources into it, I feel that they're attracted to it in some way.
Yeah.
So even though he's against prostitution in the video, I have a feeling that there's something drawing him to it. Because whether it's, I don't know if he's making money from it. I don't know if he has been burned by a prostitute.
Burned by a prostitute.
Yeah, like prostitutes would always, like, and it happens like even in the drug trade as well. Like if you go buy dope, and the guy's like, yeah, give me the money, and then I'll give you the stuff, and the guy just takes your money.
Yeah, totally.
Prostitutes can do the same thing. Like, I need money before I get into the car, and then I gotta go. So I don't know. Like, this guy, legit, like, to buy a drone to catch people fucking, which it is wrong. Get a hotel room. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, you're broken.
Yeah, I don't know that being an adult sex worker, as Hippie Mafia has pointed out, is the PC term for it. Being an adult sex worker is necessarily a bad thing, as long as there's regulations
fucking make
about
money.
it. Yeah, I think that we should decriminalize that. I don't think that makes sense. Also, most
But
drugs.
I believe, like, there's got to be some rules on where you, if you choose to prostitution as your.
Oh, you can't have sex in public. Yeah, just like you can't have sex in public, regardless if there's money changing hands.
Yeah. No, I would definitely give them health care. And hand out free condoms. Something. You ever seen I Am Sam, the movie with Sean Penn?
Yes, I have seen I Am Sam a long time ago, but yes.
It's a great movie, but he got a prostitute pregnant.
Okay.
Or no, not a prostitute. But imagine she was a prostitute.
Okay, I'm imagining.
And there's an unwanted child theoretically by both parties, because if obviously they've never met each other. The probability of saying, hey, my name is Sam, hi, my name is Julie, let's have a baby. Consensual, thank you, it can't happen.
Yeah.
So it's just, and then now you have an unwanted child. Hopefully she would get an abortion if it's an unwanted child.
Yeah, I would think that one of the requirements to be a sex worker, honestly, would be that you have undergone some sort of semi-permanent or permanent birth control surgery.
And I'd give them free disease,
free
blood work.
Free access to getting, if it's a female, tubes tied, or a male, a vasectomy.
Yeah, I mean, you
and
can't stop it, but I would fucking tax it. I would
yeah, totally.
tax the hell out of that shit. Everything. I get taxed so far up my ass now. As I just found out what my tax bracket is.
Yeah. Now that you're married.
Well, no, it's married or single. But if there's different levels. So my tax bracket get taxed at 25%. Where you make essentially between 30,000 and 150,000 while you're single or married. You get taxed at 25. It's the second highest tax bracket in the bracket next to
in all the brackets.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck, man, that's such a wide gap.
Yeah, it really is.
Of people, there's no fucking way. I mean.
Who is the first highest? Just like super rich?
Anyone making above, I think, 200,000 is 35%.
But the problem with that is that those people are making it from investments. They're not making it from traditional income, so they're not actually getting taxed.
I have no fucking clue. That's a whole situation that.
Like the number of people who make the amount of money to live in that top tax bracket, and the number of people who actually pay that amount of tax because it comes in as actual income. There's a huge disparity between the two because because one of the loopholes is capital gains tax. So as long as they invest their money and then they sell stocks or whatever to get the return on that money more than, I think it's 2 years after the fact.
1 year.
Yeah, then they get taxed way less, like around the same area that we get taxed, if not less,
fucking
for our income. Man. But because it's not coming in as straight income. And that's one of the reasons why Zuckerberg and all those people make these huge charitable contributions. Like you heard about Mark Zuckerberg saying that he's going to be donating 99% of his shares to a charity. It turns out that charity is actually a charity foundation that he formed, and he can use that charity foundation as basically a way to tax-free store money if he wants to. And there's no actual, like, he doesn't have to give any of that money away if he doesn't want to. That's a great article.
And it's free publicity. It's clickbait.
I mean, it's great publicity.
And that's all what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, yeah, we know you're joking. We're very sarcastic here, hippie, just in case you were wondering.
What were we talking about?
Talking about the sex worker thing.
Oh yeah, she's definitely a sex worker. She did an interview on podtrash.com.
The person. Okay, gotcha.
On Whoosh and Boone's show last Friday, where it was just actually Boone. The other co-host enjoyed his first edible. First time in his life, and essentially disappeared from. He never misses a show ever.
Yeah,
and
disappeared from the face of the planet.
Just for like a few hours, like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Then he came on. He called into his own show and tried to explain what life was like in that state. He doesn't drink. He smokes cigarettes, and I think drinks energy drinks, and doesn't do any form of drug anymore. But he received a lollipop edible and lost his mind.
Yeah, how concentrated was that lollipop edible?
I think it was pretty normal. I think I've never had any of those, so I don't.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to it was probably like 50 milligrams, maybe 100 at the most.
It had to come from a place where it's regulated, so I think the maximum would be 50 milligrams, right?
I think 100, unless you have a medical license, and then you can get like 150 or 200.
Yeah,
no, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
you take 100 at once, you are having an experience. Like there's something different about 100 milligrams of THC edible, because it also comes in waves. I was hanging out with my little brother. I hope he doesn't mind me telling this.
Hey, bro.
It was last Christmas, and I brought down some edibles because they didn't have a dispensary down there yet, but weed had been legalized. So I brought down some edibles, and my mom was totally cool because he still lives with my mom. And we ate some edibles together, and he's like, I'm just not feeling anything. And then like an hour later, he got super high, and then 10 minutes later, he was like fine again, and then like 30 minutes later, he was super high again. Like it came in waves. It's weird. Like everybody processes edibles especially differently. But there is the advantage of edibles is that like if you like how high you feel with a specific amount of weed, you can highly regulate that. Because if you smoke weed, you could accidentally inhale too much, and now you're uncomfortably high. But if you know exactly how much you want to eat, milligrams wise, then you can. It's more like getting medicine.
Oh man, I used to work with a coworker in Minneapolis, and that's as far as I'll say because he might listen. His family runs a fucking weed farm
Yeah?
in middle, like central Minnesota.
That's not legal, is it?
No.
Okay.
Well, they just made it medically available this
okay.
year, or sorry, 2016.
Yeah.
And he he was handing out brownies. I tried one. This is probably like 2008. And I was, let me give him a fake name. Rikishi. We'll call him
Oh,
Rikishi.
Rikishi. That's a great fake name.
Yeah, because I'm afraid he has a very generic American name.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
and I'm afraid of all of that. So we'll call him Rikishi.
Okay.
So I'm like, Rikishi, this is nothing. And I love brownies. Brownies is one of my favorite fucking. I don't like too many sweets, but that one I love brownies.
Yeah, okay.
And he made some awesome brownies. I sat there, nothing. He gave me some at work, felt nothing. Take some home, felt nothing. Next day he goes, okay, try this one. Or not next day, next week.
Okay.
The following week.
Yeah, okay.
I ate it, I fell asleep, and it was the best dream I've ever had in my life. Right before I fell asleep, I was euphoric. I was all over the world. I felt like a ghost.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And the dream was just like a dream filled with, it's like living in a kaleidoscope. It was great.
Yeah. Well, that's a similar experience to the one I was talking about in Vegas, where you have like that whole out-of-body experience. When you ingest that much THC, it's like a totally different thing than getting too high. When you get too high smoking, like you'll feel really uncomfortable and you're like, oh my God, am I ever going to be not high ever? And that lasts for like 10 minutes. And it might feel like it lasts 2 hours, but it only lasts for like 10 minutes. When you eat an edible, then it's a slower, gradual thing. But like you'll stay high for like 4 to 6 hours. It's like you're just high. It's not necessarily a good thing. I don't necessarily like that unless I'm doing nothing.
It all
that day.
depends on where you're at in life, and it was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
I never will forget that. And he's like, yeah, I didn't change the recipe or anything. I'm like, well, whatever, dude. I was in a different planet.
Yeah. Well, I would say, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Kamiana said in Google Chat, asked if it's like lucid dreaming. Arvin, I don't think, or Static, I don't think you would.
Lucid.
That's where you know you're dreaming and you can do whatever you want.
No, I didn't know if I was lucid. I just know when I woke up, I felt better than yesterday, and it changed my life at that point where I made a lot of decisions that I felt were scary, and it worked out for me. So it allowed me to move away from my family. It allowed me to go after what I wanted. I felt it was a very Steve Jobs-esque acid trip.
Now you just need to take acid.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken acid before?
Never.
Neither have I. I'm kind of scared too.
I'm afraid that I will shit my pants.
Yeah, I need like a Sherpa. You know what I mean?
We could go to South America. We used to work with someone who went to South America to take ayahuasca.
Was that Mono?
No, not at all. And it's not a secret.
Ayahuasca, is that have ingredients the same as acid? I thought that was the same ingredients.
It has
like
the same properties. I don't know if it has the same ingredients or not. I'm not that versed in the
drug scene.
Drug scene.
Like all I do is drink alcohol and smoke weed every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I know prices for cocaine.
You know the price of it.
Yeah, all kinds.
Just in case you had an opportunity to invest, you're not going to be personally.
Mainly because of my family.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I had a family member. Him and his brother. Both, they're my great uncles. Well, one of them's dead now. Rest his soul. He was a good guy. Get caught.
Oh yeah.
Trafficking.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
So then you were intimately familiar with how much it's worth because that's how much you got prosecuted by.
Well, that and also like. So this is actually one of my topics for the night, where you ever had a relative that just repeatedly commits crimes?
No, I might be too white privileged for that.
Oh, you're not. No, it can happen to anyone, but
I'm just thinking.
If you're judging by incarceration race stats, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, I have my brother-in-law before he got married was in and out of jail. So
yeah, no, like he would reminisce about like, oh man, you know, never. My name is Benny in my family. Benny, never take less than 10 a key. Never. I was like, why? Because you have to be businessmen. You have to make sure you take care of your cost of the product. You have to pay yourself. Never forget to pay yourself. What do you say? Never. And then expenses. And then he says, whatever it cost you, always charge 5 times more.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was always very interesting because from that, and the quality has to be there. I mean, you can always dumb down cocaine by cutting it with other products, but it's like having relatives tell you how to commit crimes, and
that's interesting.
But it's no different than like your parents saying, if your parent was a cook, like I'm going to show my kid how to cook. It was his way of bonding with me.
That's cool. It is a little bit different, I think, but I think to him it wasn't any different.
No, because cops and in jail were just road bumps in the road called life. He got out of prison and he stopped doing major stuff, but it never stopped him from like being a dick to people or he's a fuck. He stole from me, man. The guy at the time was in his 50s. He stole my laser pointer that I stole.
I stole this rightfully, and you stole it from me. Where did you steal it from?
I stole it from the Children's Museum of Minnesota.
You stole something from a children's museum?
Yeah, I stole a laser pointer.
Jesus Christ, a new low.
Yeah. No. It was old low.
Oh, I mean, it was a new low for you at the time, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you stole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah. Used to fucking clean up at Kmart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I used to steal. When I was a kid, I stole every action figure.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but the last thing I stole was that laser pointer that I think I was like 13 or 14.
That was the last time you stole anything?
And that I can remember. Like, besides, like, pieces of candy from a bank or whatever.
Can I tell you I stole something today?
What'd you steal?
So,
my V card?
I stole your V card. No, I was at King Supers, and I was in the morning-ish. My morning, which is like 1 p.m. On my day off. And I went and got donuts. And I only said that I had 1 donut in the bag, but I had 2 donuts in the bag.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I didn't mean to do it.
I do that at Safeway all the time. Like if I buy a muffin or a bagel, I'm too lazy to search for it in the self-checkout.
Yeah.
So I just tap donut.
Yeah.
I don't consider that steal.
I didn't actually mean to do it, but after I noticed that I did it, I hadn't checked out yet, so I could have stopped it. But I was like, well, if the wait thing thinks there's only 1 donut in there, I'm not getting caught, so I'm moving on.
That's their problem.
So I don't know. Is it okay to take an extra donut? I think it's okay.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
It cost them nothing. Who cares?
It probably does cost them like 7 cents, and they charge you $50 or $1.
I mean, and they probably spit it anyway.
They probably spit in it?
Of course.
Well, a little saliva never hurt nobody.
Yeah, like imagine like you had a big beard, right? And you're in the back, and you saw one of your beard hairs fall into the donut batter.
Yeah.
And you already mixed it in. Are you going to throw out the whole thing?
No. I would eat it still.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, morally, yeah, you should if you're serving it to people. But
no, but like, what is the actual health risk there? It's a beard hair.
Depends on the race.
Whoa! Whoa! Jesus! All right.
Obviously, it's a joke, but if you can't
I appreciate
jokes and you're somehow listening or watching this
you're obviously talking about Brazilians there. We all know it.
Yeah, dude. Oh, speaking of assholes, my sister, man. My sister, we were looking at the wedding photos.
Okay.
We just printed them. And
yeah.
My sister, every fucking photo she's in, scowl.
Yeah, just me. So she's scowling in your wedding photos, dude?
Yeah, man. She's a fucking sore asshole.
You told me about her.
She's still a fucking dick. Every photo. And like everyone's smiling, having a good time. Like even at the wedding, my sister was a fucking asshole. Just sitting there on her phone texting.
Why'd she even come? To bring your dad?
She had to bring my dad can't fend for himself. Otherwise, she would definitely not come.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a fucking dick. Looking at these beautiful photos, everyone's having a good time. Everyone's happy.
Did you have some specific ones? Did you post them all to Facebook or?
Yeah, there's one on Facebook, but I'll send it to you via Skype. That way, it's just easier. can see the
Oh
hate.
wait.
from
Oh,
my
I see.
sister.
Is she standing next to you on your left in a blue dress?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I couldn't tell if she was frowning or not.
No, my sister is.
Oh no,
very
she's not
short.
frowning. This picture's just bad, like low resolution.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't find it. But my sister's a fucking dick. She's a fucking asshole.
Show this to me, and then I gotta go to bed early.
It's a woman in a red
Woman in a
shirt.
red shirt.
Yeah.
You're sending it to me. Is it on your wall, like in your photos?
Yeah, there we go. I'm sending it to you now. Let's see if that works.
I think that should work.
Yeah, that works.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Can I? You want me to show it on the stream?
Please
Is that okay?
do, yeah. I don't give a fuck. She's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Look at this frown.
I mean, just a dick.
Oh, let me zoom in.
I mean, I saw these before.
Yeah.
But seeing them in print, it's just gross.
Why is she like? Why even be there? Oh, your dad looks good.
My dad's a man. My dad fucking, he's the best. But my
You and
sister,
your lady look good too. Yeah, your sister just looks like she is not happy.
she's a fucking asshole.
Man, what
Just
are
a
you gonna do?
fucking asshole. Try anything to try to ruin my day.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. Like the one time you should put that stuff aside is like
Yeah.
at a wedding.
I honestly don't care how she feels about me. I would not show up to her wedding like that. But she's just deep, and then just deep down, like whatever she's dealing with, like she could have stayed in the hotel room. She didn't have to fucking come.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. We paid for her to come out here.
Yeah.
We paid for her to stay. Didn't have to drive. Didn't have to do shit. I did it all with my wife and her family. Fucking asshole. My sister's a fucking dick.
I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
Ah, fuck that. She's a fucking asshole.
Well, maybe you won't have to see her again for a while.
Anytime I see my dad, I have to see her.
Oh, that sucks.
She takes care of my dad, so it's like this.
Is that
It's
why she's
weird.
upset? Because she doesn't want to take care of your dad?
No. I mean, she doesn't do it for free.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, she gets paid to take care of my dad.
Wow. Like paid as in a free place to live and stuff?
Obviously that, and also she gets paid. She's employed by the state to take care of him.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing that you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if the state is a state program already, but that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
Well,
I
anyway,
mean, like,
I have to go and end it early because I can get
Alright.
up for a doctor's appointment. So I apologize, listeners.
get that anal fissure.
Yeah, I gotta
cleared up.
get. The anal fissure. It's just it's like the Red Sea. It's been partying pretty bad lately. No, that's not true.
I'm googling anal fissures right now. I've never seen one.
Neither
even
have
know what
I.
it
I don't
is.
know that I want to.
I just like saying it.
Yeah.
Remedies for anal fissure.
Dude.
What's a remedy?
Yeah. Oh, also, have you watched the latest South Park yet?
Yeah.
And then now there's a new one out too now, like the follow up after that episode, the Truth in Advertising.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you've seen both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
No, it was a great episode. Oh man, these anal fissures are terrible.
I'm so glad I'm not having to see those right
Holy
now.
cow, dude! Just type anal fissure and then click images in Google.
I think I'm good actually.
Whew.
Yeah.
Fucking serious business, man.
Oh my god.
Holy cow!
On that note, let's anal fissure it up and
What causes anal fissures now?
I don't know, man. Maybe like constipation or I think maybe birth. If you give birth, couldn't that cause an anal fissure? Like a stretch? I don't know. Your lady would probably know.
The skin around the anus can be torn when passing large or hard stools.
Yeah.
Chronic constipation or frequent diarrhea can also tear the skin.
Damn. So you literally took it like shat your asshole out.
Or cucumbers.
Cucumbers would do it too. But I'd still do it 30 days in a row for 4 years of salary, just in case you were wondering. Just in case you were wondering. Who wouldn't? I mean, honestly, go on a webcam, stick a cucumber up your butt once a day and get 4 years salary for that? Who wouldn't do that? I don't understand.
I can't. I actually on Kenny versus Spenny, which is my new TV show that I
Yeah.
love watching. That is ridiculously old. They I witnessed a colonoscopy.
Oh, they had a colonoscopy on the show?
Yeah, who could lose the most weight? So they one of them did a colonoscopy, and you just see shit coming down the tube.
I don't think that's the point of that contest on losing weight. I don't think they meant just shit. I guess that counts though.
Weight is weight. because the punishment was licking the doorknob of an adult bookstore.
Oh, that's
Fuck
gross.
that.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that. Then I'll take one up the ass.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I'll take a colonoscopy then.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. Rather than licking a public doorknob.
Yeah.